Hello everyone, my name is Kathryn Aboya and I'm here today with a very special guest, Kamal Dhillon. She's here, she's our first guest. It's April 1st, so I'm very, very happy to inaugurate the show with her today, seeing as she has been the most influential on my spiritual practice and stepping into my divine feminine, and she is one of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life, and I wanted to share her beauty and wisdom with all of you. So,
thank you.
You're welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for inviting me over.
You're very welcome. So, we're going to start off. The show is going to take place in a way that we have 9 questions, standard questions. So we're just going to jump right into them. So, I know most of this stuff, or some of it, but for their benefit, can you tell us what made you drop into your spirituality initially?
For many people, it starts later in age. For some people, they just have it right from birth. But I had it when I was in grade 3. And I was sitting in my classroom giving my English test at that hour. And all of a sudden, I saw that everything around me became nice and bright. All I saw was white light, and there was nothing else I could see. And I was just a grade 3 student, and I fainted. I just passed away. I just couldn't passed over, and I couldn't see anything other than the bright light. And next thing I see is 3 men sitting right next to me on 3 sides. I was in India at that time, and during that time we never had people who had dreadlocks or who looked different from our skin. But I saw a man who was very, very fair, which I now know was a white man. And then I saw a man who had dreadlocks, and then he was smoking. He was sitting right next to me, and the third man, I don't know who he was. And they kept touching me, and they wanted to talk to me, and they were like, hey, talk to us, we are here to communicate. And I just couldn't take that. I think for a child of that age, it was a lot to handle. And that was my first experience with the I think the other world, I guess. And that was a journey that started and it never ended. It was always like going ahead with new experiences and knowing more and more as the time passed. Yes.
That's
but
quite...
for a little kid, it was a lot.
And that sort of wasn't really accepted or understood at
that time. No. India, like my parents, they were very much into religion and everything, and everybody felt that I was maybe, I was possessed with some spirits or something. They took me to temple. They did everything they had to do to make me feel better. And I kind of had a withdrawn feeling from everything, and I felt that maybe this is not something that is right and I shouldn't be talking about it. Although I saw those people again so many times because they were guiding me towards life and so many other things. But I never talked to anybody after that for a very, very long time to come.
So you had to carry that with you?
Yes, I felt that burden. I felt I was maybe weird at times, but I felt I wasn't like other people, but I never had a chance to share it with anybody else. So I just kept it to myself, and I grew up with all those things. Till I don't know till what time, till I actually started sharing it with somebody in my life.
So if anyone has felt anything like that, or you feel alone, hopefully this will start shedding light on things that happen in our lives that maybe we have to shut off because it doesn't seem like it's accepted.
Experiences can be in very many different ways. I had, like every individual is special. and every individual is different. So you may just experience something for 1 second, or it can be for hours, but do not ignore that. That is what I would say. And make sure, like, have confidence in that universe which has brought to you all that, that it will find a way for letting out that feeling, and you'll find people who would understand that, and you will definitely find that kind of crowd around you. People will be drawn to you automatically, and you will get a chance to open up. So I would say that if time would take me back, I would not waste so many years of being in the box of my own, and being in that shell and not coming out due to the fear. If I could go back in time, I would let others experience that and enjoy more of what I had so many years back.
So embracing and letting go of all the fear.
Yes, that is very, very important, letting go of the fear. And there is no fear actually. If you see something that is, you have what they call it, another antenna like that you can tune into, that's it. And you gotta be happy about it. I'm always happy now. I feel like, I'm not a serious person, to let you know. I'm very like fun-loving person, and I think these experiences, they play with you and they make you happier. They are not meant to make you serious, or they are not meant to make you fearful at all.
So she's saying that if you have an antenna and you're going out into regular life and you feel like you have to kind of put up a shield. Remember, she said, I'm going to work now, so I just have to put my antenna down.
Yes, that is what I feel, that at times when I look at people, I can see through them, and sometimes I read their mind and I'm like, oh, I don't want that to show. So I try imagining that I have antennas on my head, and I try pressing them down. Hey, I'm not supposed to see this at this hour. So in my mind, I'm always playing with all those things, but I try to, like, keep composed and act like, oh, I'm a serious worker. I have no like such things in my head at all, but they are always there.
And do you have, I think you said there was a voice, or there was different, sometimes if someone's talking and you know that they're
Yes.
BSing you.
Yes, yeah. At times I have had people who are trying to tell me different things, but I can really like read through their mind so much, and I can hear what they're saying, and my voice in my head, like my guides kind of are telling me, hey, that's not what that person means, and I'm like, okay, I can say that to that person, and I'm like, yes, yeah, you're right. So I have to keep going with people and not all the time telling them that I know what you mean. So that's kind of fun situation for me. I think that is what has kind of, what my husband calls me, made me comedian in a way.
You have your own little show going on all the time.
Yes, yep. That is like, I wish I was a cartoonist and I would paint hundreds of pictures of people while they are imagining, like they are saying, not saying things what are in their heads. It will be really, really fun.
So any cartoonists out there, if you're looking for something, we've got some great material.
Yes.
So I remember, and Kamal's husband Raj is here today, and he had said to us, I remember I had asked him, how do I get to, the state that Kamal is, how do I, and he's like, forget about it. She's on another planet. Like, this is, for people like us, this is where we start. So can you tell us, for people who are starting on the journey or wherever you are, what are the things that you do on a daily basis?
So first thing, I live life. I have learned that do not waste any moment, because every moment is special. It is never going to be same again. So if you waste that moment, it's gone, and there's no use looking back in life, because past is past. Every moment that is going behind in another second is past, and what is to come, I don't know. Like, I know, but I assume that I don't know anything, and so many of us, like, actually we don't know what is. We are creating our moments with our presence. What I would always say to everyone is that be in the moment and enjoy. If you're eating, just enjoy every bite of your food. Even if you're watching TV and you're eating, you should know what's going in your mouth, and that is meditation. Where if you're eating and okay, that's TV, oh, cereal, and with everything happening on the TV, your eyes are wider, your like lips would stretch with smile here from one corner to the other, but you are missing the food that you are eating. So the joy of that, eating that delicious food which somebody might have prepared for you, maybe you cooked it yourself, all that effort that has gone into it, which was meditation in itself, you missed out a whole part of it. So if you're playing, just play. Don't even think about like I know that at work so many people are on computer, but their fingers are moving, but head is like, oh, after I go from work, I have to do this, I have to finish that. You're not present at work. I have had my own experiences where I was at work, they were toughest of the moments, and I didn't even know how I was going to do that, but I put my heart and soul in there saying, we'll get along and we'll do this. And it was so smooth because our presence makes all the difference. Just being where you are is all that you need. You don't have to be here and be somewhere else mentally. That's it. And that is what I do in my life.
So it's as simple as, I remember you said this to me once. I said, you know, I've been trying to meditate, and I learned from TM, and that worked initially, but then it wasn't working, and now when I try to meditate and it doesn't work, I get really angry, and what should I do? And she said, well, that piece of cake that you're eating, have you tasted what it's like? Yeah, I'm tasting, it's good, but are you tasting it? And it's sort of, you know, we do this thing where we eat quickly, and then we don't realize what we're doing, and we're, like you said, not living in the moment. We're living in the past or the future, but we don't really know what's going on right now.
Yes, most of the people, I know we read so many books, there are so many shows out there, and there are places you go, travel all the way, maybe to India and so many other places. People go there finding ways to meditate, and most of them come down to, you have to sit, turn on some music, or you have to focus on something. No, that's not how it is. You are meditating every moment, you know it or not, you are meditating, and we don't have to learn it. It is inborn in us. We were born with that. We have been meditating even when we were kids. When you were playing as a little kid, and it is all about focus. You're focusing on something. If we used to focus on one game and we would play for hours, we meditated that time. That is meditation. When you were enjoying that piece of cake that she said, every little bite of it is meditation. That cherry that was in it, and the cream that went inside, from taking that little spoon of that, and just the look at it was meditation, and the beautiful look of the cake, and then how you took it and how you said, that's all meditation. And that is what you do. If that becomes a part of life, you know, sitting in meditating in a room is the last stage of meditation, not the beginning of meditation.
Okay, so that would be, for me that was very helpful.
Yes, so many people complain that, oh, we sit for hours but we can't concentrate. Are you able to concentrate in your daily activities? If yes, that would be very easy for you. First you learn to focus in your daily activities. If you can do that, if you can put your heart and soul at one place, you will be very, very comfortable. When you turn off the lights, you turn on a candle, light the incense stick, and you sit, you will instantly be in meditation. But you have to start it from your daily life. It is outside in and inside out. It is all one thing. It just, you have to find the right balance. Where is it? Where am I lacking?
So would you say gratitude is probably a good place to start?
Appreciation. Every day, every moment, appreciation. When somebody opens the door for you, somebody smiles at you and says thank you. There are so many times, like I work in retail now. I have seen that people there are different kind of people around you. And today I saw a huge man, and every time I looked at me, he reminded me of a magician, and kind of that made my day like 10 times while I crossed him. And every time he crossed me, and he put his head slightly down, and he was like this, and I just controlled my laughter. You know, there's appreciation. I appreciated him being there in front of me for, you know, 3-4 hours, and he didn't know he was in his like daily thing, but he was upset. But for me, he was a magician. Life actually sends you magic from everywhere, every day, every moment. You just have to play with it and enjoy it and appreciate it. Yes.
So what do you do if say I heard something today which frustrated me?
Okay.
And it was on the news, and I just did not agree with it at all. So what do you do with something like that? Do you let it go? Do you say that it's I remember you told me once that there's a balance of light and dark.
Yes.
And as the light gets brighter, the dark gets darker.
Yes.
So how do you reconcile that in sort of with the things that you see. There's the option of turning off the TV or not watching the news, not watching things that upset you.
Yeah.
What are the other ways of just focusing on what makes you happy, right?
So one thing we have to remember, we are not superhumans. We are all, I meditate or not, I do whatever I do or not, we are all human beings. There are events that would upset us. There would be many things that would happen during the course of day and life, but it is up to us, how do we cling on to those? Do we keep hanging on to them and keep them in our wardrobe all the time, or just let them go? It is a practice. It takes a little while to do that. That you have to take your focus from whatever is disturbing you. It is exactly like I would attract what I'm putting my focus on. Whatever you will look at, it will multiply. Long back, I was a teacher. I used to tell my students that when we sow one little seed, that's a rule of the nature, that one would multiply into 10. So any seed that you would sow would spring up, and then there would be 10 out of that, and just not 1 for 1. So whatever you are putting in would multiply. So I definitely don't want to put in anything in my life which would multiply. May it be frustration, anger. If you were frustrated, it's fine. Everybody wants to have a let out and wants, but we think that if we would share it with others, I'll feel better. No, it is only going to multiply, because we are letting it simmer for hours and hours. We are letting it simmer. We are not letting it go. The whole thing about life is, it is when you have joyful events. Yes, we used to read this when we were kids, that share your joys, they multiply, and divide your sorrows, kind of thing. But that was true. When you are upset, no need to talk to people at that time, because you are only deepening the impact of what is, and whether it is a frustration and everything. And remember, when somebody is, when you're frustrated, most of the time, and you're angry, you will point it at somebody else, that because of that person I'm upset, I'm angry, that one annoyed me. It is never about other people, it is about you. So if I throw a ball at you and you don't catch it, it's not yours. So you have to practice this in your daily life. Whatever others are giving to you, do you want to take it or not? Nobody can impact you as much as you can impact yourself. Whenever there are events like this, incidences that upset you or impact your life like this, take a deep breath, go in the washroom, just wash your face or do whatever you need to do, but turn on the TV, watch a movie, listen to some good song. How much awkward you may feel at that hour. Oh, I have lost everything, my boyfriend broke up with me, this is like the worst event of my life, I wish I hadn't met him, or whatever. There's nothing that is consistent in life. People come, people go. This is all very normal. For that moment you feel that hell has broken loose with you, but life is a series of changes. Life brings in a lot of things. It brings people in, takes people out, and a lot of things come and go. And you are not only one person with who this has happened. A lot of things happen in our daily life, and it is like equipping yourself that, okay, I'm not going to stay there for longer. So if once you build that up, if it is very difficult, when you lie down, just put everything, I heard that they do this in hypnosis also, that you put everything in a box and see that it is like going up with a balloon. Do whatever you feel like, make a picture of that person and punch as much as you want, but let go after that. Do whatever it takes you to do, but let go of that at all costs, and do not keep thinking about it. Oh, I wish I could go back and smash him on his face. Done. It is done. The moment has gone. Move on to the next one. And life is always ready to bring in new magic. Only that you have to tap the door. You let it open. You have to be like a house with windows where the air is flowing all the time, not a box which is so like compact and you can't breathe, you're suffocated all the time. Oh, anger, oh, frustration, now this, no. You want to open all your windows and let fresh air come in and go all the time. If you are empty, you can receive more. If you are so full of all these things, there will be no room for new. So empty yourself all the time. You don't want to stoop like this with all those burdens, and you can't walk like a child in like grade 3 who has a heavy backpack. oh, I can't walk because it's so heavy. No, take off, throw all those books that you are carrying, and then feel light and walk easy. That's it.
It's a really good analogy, because people always say be positive, and it's if I find that if I'm trying to be positive and then it's, you know, and they think you're, well, why do you look so negative? But you're not negative, you're just thinking about something else, and then that really makes you upset, and now you're that much further away from positivity.
Yes.
I guess if you stay stuck in that, then you can't allow the space for that 1 second where I was worrying about that thing actually took away from the fact that there's a beautiful flower in front of me, or whatever it was,
yes.
right? You're not giving the space for it to flow.
Yes. It is like, imagine yourself on a road, and suddenly you yourself throw big blocks of like rocks or stones in front of you, and then you're like, hey, I can't move, where do I go? But it's you who's doing it, right? And trying to like go like this, oh, I have negativity in my life, but nobody else other than you can remove those blockages and move ahead. Nobody else can do it for you. Outer sources can make you like temporarily happy or unhappy, but if you are internally, you don't make that change in you, that no matter what happens, my happiness is my responsibility, and it's not worth losing for anything in life, nothing. It is a very little life. 100 years is not long to live. I always say that, oh, 100 years, I wish I could live longer. And even if I am like 85, 89, I would want to be with this big smile on my face, and it should come from my heart. That's it. That is all that should matter. And we have to always remember, when people look at smiling faces, it is very much like, we all know that no matter what mood you are in, if somebody is constantly happy, it will infect you too. Yeah. So be that person who spreads that. There are a lot of people who are ready to rub on the negativity in life, but you don't want to be that. If you don't like it, don't be that. Yes.
So I'm just trying to think if there's who is the most influential person on your in your life?
My husband, Raj. He is the person who gave me the freedom to be what I am today. As I told you that when I was a kid, I had those experiences. I grew up with them. I could never share them with anybody because I always had that fear that people might think that I'm not like them and not of acceptance. The day I spoke to him, and I was in India, he was in Canada. The day I spoke to him, there was a very beautiful thing that happened. I was walking, after talking to him on phone, our marriage was fixed, and then I was, we have arranged marriages in India still. I was walking to the temple, and all of a sudden I heard bells ringing in my ears, and I felt that something in life has changed. And he was the first person who I was able to open up and say that, hey, I see all those other things which normally people don't, and I can tap into the reality of the other world too. And he was instantly so open to it. I just couldn't believe it. I felt that magic has happened in my life. I always used to have a faint picture of God, and I would pray for years and years and tell God, why don't you marry me? Why don't you marry me? That was my daily question. And when he married me, I was like, hey, my wish is fulfilled. And from that day, he brings me all the things that I need to grow myself, for my growth, for his growth, and he's my teacher. In every little thing that I do, I get guidance from him, and somehow he impacts my life in a very beautiful way. I think I flowered in his presence, and if I hadn't met him, life wouldn't have been the same, never. Maybe I had to come back another birth after 100 years, another 100 years.
You said it doesn't go by, it goes by really quickly, right? So it's 100 days.
Yeah.
And you used, I very fortunately now have the Shivaling that Kamal used, so she would pray to the Shivaling and every Monday. And so now it's my turn to marry God. So if anyone is looking for their partner, you can get a Shivaling. I'll bring it the next time. You can see what it looks like. You can pray to it every Monday for your twin flame. And I remember you also said, I think you'd said that when Raj because you both had partners previously, and then you
Yes.
were alone. And he had all these beautiful crystals, and he had been praying to them, and then I think at one point he ended up just throwing them in the river out of frustration.
Yeah, that things are not working. And after that we met. Like, we didn't even meet. I was in India, he was in Canada. My parents, my sister found him. His matrimonial ad was given in the newspaper by his brother, and my sister, who was in US as well, she read it. And it was arranged marriage, but I think it was arranged by universe. Universe wanted us to be together, especially for me, because I was looking for a door, and he became my magician, and he was like, okay, here's the magic wand, and you grow now.
That's beautiful. So maybe, like you said, to give space, he got rid of the crystals in order to make
Yes.
space
Yes,
for you,
for me to
something
come
even
in.
more beautiful to
Yes.
come into his life.
Definitely, yes.
So it's very, very inspirational.
Oh, thank you. Life is very beautiful. We all have to remember that if once you start actually acknowledging what is around in here, there's lots around you. I know that while we are driving, so many of us see numbers on the similar numbers. Now we acknowledge that all the time. We say that, okay, 333, 999, 1111. These numbers are there. Sometimes there are messages behind the cars, or a truck passes by and you were not supposed to go away, and then suddenly some sound, some music starts playing. Don't take it as, some random incidents is happening. Universe is always communicating with you, always wanting you to communicate back, but sometimes we take it too much for granted. We say, oh, okay, this was always there, nothing new about it. But every little thing, even if that is repeating 100 times, it is still new and beautiful. I have had hundreds and thousands of experiences, seeing, hearing, and the day I started following my intuition, and intuition is like, we all have that intuition. That is the first thing that you get in your heart, that I should do this. The day I started doing that, my life changed tremendously. And now I don't doubt it. Stop doubting.
Stop doubting.
Yes.
And go with your flow.
Go with the flow. Have trust. And once you have trust, you will see how different life becomes. There's no worry. There's no fear. There's everything looks so simple. Actually, it is very simple. We make it complicated by doubting that, oh, it may work out, it may happen, it may not happen. Why won't it happen? Universe is such a, like, it's abundant place. You just have to reach out for everything. You just put your hands like that and then you get it. Believe and ask for it.
So would you say, what would be your top, would that be your top rule in life? Just think of what you want and then let it go. Don't worry about how it's going to come. Just.
Yeah, I think, Weather Network now tells us everything, how the weather is going to be. I don't want my life like that, I know what is going to happen. I want the surprises to happen every day, and I don't want to interfere in whatever is happening. I would love life to take its own. We have to let life happen through us, not make life happen. So when it happens through us, it is very, very beautiful. It just happens. There is nothing complicated about it.
Can you share with us, because now there's a meditation corner here and one that I have at home now, and it started through seeing your space. Can you give us an idea of what are some of, like, a candle, a smudge stick, things that you'd have in it that you can create in your own home that you.
Yes. For meditation, once you are done with the daily meditation of your work and your friends and your food and everything, after those meditation, if you still have time and you want to have, like, some quiet time, I always recommend that in our ancient books, I've read that we are all made of like 5 elements, and there is a purpose why people have like candle and incense sticks and other products in there. It definitely works wonders. You can create your own ritual. You can always have your own ritual. You don't have to be of any religion or anything to do like that. I like to have a corner or part of the house which is totally dedicated to your meditation space. So maybe find a color that you would like, something nice and bright and cozy, comfortable. Put a cushion in front of you, like have enough leg space where you could like maybe sit. If you think that a cushion is good for you, sit on a cushion or a chair. A little table on the side where you could put definitely some of your like favorite fragrance, incense sticks and candle. Candle and incense, they help to they absorb a lot of negative vibrations in our surroundings, and they would absorb that, and you know, candle kind of connects you to your inner self. Dim up the lights, have some fragrances around. If you can, if you would like, there can be offerings that you can do, but that's not a mandatory thing. But you can always like to enhance the effect, you could have some flowers, you could put some fruits. You can consume the fruits later, you can eat them, that's fine, but put your favorite fruit, so you love eating it, that oh, it's all infused with my meditation. So do whatever feels good to you, but like dimming the light definitely makes you can focus better. And then play some music that you would like to hear, soothing. There are a lot of like music CDs available, and there are a lot of other things, but play something that you would like, not that okay, this is what I have been told to like play. No, the impact of music, it has to resonate with your heart. I always say, go, when you touch something, your hands are the first tap into the other world. Like other world, we are saying, like other than our head, our heart connects through our hands. So touch the things that you like. So if you touch a candle and it feels good to you, buy that candle. Put that candle in front of you. When you light an incense stick, and you feel like, oh, this is the time I have to close my eyes, buy that incense stick and do what you need to do like this, and make a little corner, put the colors that you would like. Orange is a very beautiful, very soothing color. You could use yellows, you could use blue, so yellow, blue, orange, white. So these colors, they blend in very well when you are sitting in your meditation. You could put them together, make a nice little quiet space, and then sit there and see what happens. Yeah.
Wait for the magic to come in.
Wait for the magic, yes, and allow the magic to happen. Do not put your own head in there. Let your heart take over, and then see how universe connects to you.
So what, just to sum it all up, what would you say is the most important rule in life?
Our rule of life?
What's the most important rule in life for you?
Just be happy.
Be happy.
It is the easiest thing, the simplest thing, and I know people find it like it is out of like such hectic work schedules and family issues, husband-wife relationships and all that. You didn't do that, I did that, and you should have done. No, being happy is the easiest thing out of anything that is happening in your life. If you just focus on that, everything else will be taken care of. And take responsibility for yourself, of your happiness and of your life. If you feel that somebody else, if I go for shopping, I'll be happy. If I eat that, I'll be happy. If my husband behaves like that, then I'll be happy. Maybe he should have done the dishes when I came home and he didn't do it, so he made me unhappy. No, happiness is your personal responsibility. Okay. If he has not done the dishes, and you can say, okay, that's all right, maybe I can pull in, we can do it together. I think that would make you happier than just frowning and saying, hey, I think you should have done that. And you wasted that happiness which was yours, and you didn't let that happen, right? These are very little things in life and relationships, but we are responsible for our own happiness, nobody else. And we can do it. It's the easiest thing to do.
And for the record, Raj always does the dishes, so he doesn't leave them to the side. So
he's the best man. I call him BMW. Best man of the world.
Lucky. There's one last thing I wanted to share, and that was, I remember you said that if you wake up in the middle of the night and you have, say your partner wants to go for an ice cream and it's 3 in the morning, don't turn your back on them. Get up, get your clothes on, and go for the ice cream with them and see what experience you have, because that's your other half. That's,
yes. Yeah.
If you're with that person, be with them fully. and be truthful and be faithful and be honest and really love every part of them, because it's a part of you.
Everything in life is 100%. Either it is or not. So if you're in a relationship, or if you're at work, or anywhere in life, be 100%. Sometimes we meet people for 10 minutes and we would never meet them again. But if you have given your 100% in those 10 minutes, you will have, in your own vibration, you will have had a fulfillment of lifetime. And that applies to everything. When we start living with people together, it is kind of, we start expecting a lot of things for other person to do. I think in life, how I go is that it is all about us, not about somebody else. We gotta do what we have to do. Doesn't matter how that other person responds or not responds, good, bad. If your partner or anybody else, your friends, your family, anybody, if they do things for you, that's amazing. But don't start expecting them to do that for you. Keep a watch on what you are doing in life. Always have a tab on that. How am I reacting? How am I doing? How am I doing? What is my role? What did I do? Do not just keep stand on this side of life and then keep looking towards the other one, but make sure you know what you are doing, and without expecting things from the other side. It is all about you.
So if everyone took care of themselves on the planet, we would all be
Yes.
taken care of. So
yeah, if your husband doesn't feel like going for ice cream at 3 o'clock, if you can drive, go ahead, go for
your ice cream at
and let
3
me
in the
know
morning.
in the morning how you felt.
yeah, and be happy. That's
Yes, be happy.
number one.
Yes, don't be frustrated.
Frustrated.
Yes.
Well,
He needed the sleep,
he needed, yeah.
definitely.
I'm so grateful
Thank
that
you.
you're here. Made me very happy, and I'm very happy to share with all of you. And we're wishing you a very happy April Fools. I fell for every prank today. I don't know how. So
I had a lot of things going in my head while I was talking, so I wish I had a cartoonist sitting here and
Behind
make
us.
drawings.
thank you, everyone. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you.
Namaste.